you in the street. 'Cause that's the type of world we live in, baby. It's not the sparkly stuff that you go online and tweet. The actors keep on lying, the brain dead bastards keep their social distance. I try to shout it from the rooftops, but no one ever seems to want to listen. Another time, another place, another space away from it. These people drive me mad, I wish they would live Another time, another place, another space away from it. These people are insane, wish that they would use their brain.
Well, hello everybody, and welcome to this quick and impromptu live stream as usual. I don't normally plan any of these things; they just happen as they do. Obviously, something needs to be said about the ongoing issue that's currently occurring in Israel. A lot of us know people who live over there, and we haven't been able to get in contact with any of them. I haven't been able to get in contact with some of my friends. It's a worrying situation, and all my thoughts and prayers go out to those people who live in Israel. As far as I'm concerned, Israel has the right to defend itself, as does any sovereign nation. Um, the stuff that's coming out on social media and the images that are coming out, it's disgusting. It's horrible. I know that Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu has said that they're at war, and it's yet again sad and dangerous times. The world seems to be intent on burning itself at the moment. It really does. But of course, we have to sort of try and figure out how this happened. Well, this, as far as I'm concerned, will be laid at the feet of Iran, obviously, because Iran backed Hamas, and also at the feet of the current sitting president of the United States of America, Joe Biden, who just gave $6 billion to Iran 19 days ago. And today we're awoken to the fact that an attack has opened up, and it's dangerous times. But if you caught me on Noel's stream yesterday, first apologies that I suddenly went off. My internet went down, and then about 10 minutes after that, the power went off. Apparently, some enterprising young gentleman had crashed his van into a junction box or something, and it had shorted everything out, which is why I suddenly disappeared. But if you caught me on that, you've probably pretty much figured out how I feel about these things and how I feel about the way things are going in the world today. But we have to look and try and figure out why everybody seems to be so obsessed. The world seems to be obsessed in burning itself alive. It really does. But then again, when if you look at the examples, I mean, what was it? It was Joe Biden's administration that allowed pulled the U.S. Army out of Afghanistan and left absolutely every single weapon, vehicle, etc., for the Taliban to have. So that went down well. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why. I mean, he's also, continually poked Putin. Putin is making it quite obvious and quite clear that he's getting prepared to use nuclear weapons. Strikes are getting closer and closer to NATO territory. As far as I can see, in my personal experience and based on my knowledge of military things, We're heading for a war, as frightening as that seems, because everybody currently seems to be determined to be attacking each other. And I don't know. We live in dangerous times. I've said this. We live in dangerous times. Dark forces that have been always simmering around in the background have now had no option but to show themselves. They can't stay hidden any longer. Um, we have violence. We have distractions. Um, Here in the UK, uh, not long ago, a few days ago, a 15-year-old schoolgirl got stabbed to death going to school. But that was quickly swept under the carpet because we had to concentrate on hurty words. Ava, who is a despicable human being, who, of course, like society, just laughs at things, finds things funny, male suicides, etc. Because that's all okay. And then obviously we get a response from Lawrence Fox, and it's all our attention is quickly diverted from a horrible situation where a young schoolgirl never got to school again because it's all hurty words, and we have a feminist now acting like the victim, drawing away from the fact that our children are stabbing each other to death on a regular basis, and but it's more important that someone's feelings have got hurt and people are getting sacked from shows, and I just don't know anymore. It's knife crime will never get solved here in the United Kingdom, and it won't get solved purely because the difficult conversation won't be had. The simple truth of the matter is, well, probably going to get called a racist. I've been called worse, but statistically, and if you look at the facts, it's a black on black crime. But of course, because it's that, we're not going to address the situation. Why are our youth killing each other left, right, and centre? Why aren't we talking about that? Why aren't we talking about the massive increase in male suicide? Why is it something for some people, Ava, to sit there and laugh at and think it's funny? But we won't have these conversations because we don't want conversations like that. We're obsessed with pronouns. We're obsessed with transgenderism. We're obsessed with this. We're obsessed with that. We're obsessed with things that are in reality, most of the time, pointless distractions from reality. Reality is we are sitting in a situation where the world is determined to burn itself to the ground while we all argue over a pronoun or we all argue over a hurt feeling. Yeah. The dark forces are out. They're out. It's plain and simple to see. I know that probably a lot of people won't like this particular video, um, but it's something that needs to be discussed. But of course, it won't be discussed at all, will it? Because it's the problem is in society, which is what I was saying on Noel's stream. We actually, believe it or not, as much as it may upset or offend people, you do need to have both sides of an argument. You do need to have dissenting voices. You do need to have somebody who's saying something you don't agree with. Because if you don't have those two arguments and you don't have those two sides to that argument, then nothing will ever get solved. And that's the world we live in at the moment, where we're only having one side of the argument, uh, and that side is trying to silence the other side, and therefore that's why we're stagnating. That's why situations aren't getting solved. That's why situations aren't getting resolved. It's we live in dangerous times, ladies and gentlemen. What's going on in Israel is horrendous. We've got the stuff going on in Russia and the Ukraine. The Chinese always continually looking at Taiwan and wonder when they're going to go for that. Because at the moment, why wouldn't they? We're in such a weakened state here in the West that we will be unable to stop them. We seem to be on a collision course for disaster, and the vast majority of people either don't notice, don't care, or not interested. I just, I mean, I've as I said, this is why arguing over a stupid TV show, it's ridiculous. This is why sending threats, wishing the opposition who don't agree with your viewpoint to extinguish themselves and wish they were all 6 feet under the ground is now being accepted and pushed and thrown because We live in a world with zero consequences. And we all, or if you don't know who I am talking about, you just have a quick look. He's completely unrepentant, and it doesn't surprise me. You know, you've got people being told to extinguish their own lights because of a differing of an opinion, and we celebrate these people. We see people being beaten up in schools, videoed, just schools, buses, everywhere, videoed for social media clouds and people laughing and not stepping in. Morals have gone, discipline has gone, respect and integrity has gone. In fact, we seem to be obsessed with celebrating the stupid, the mundane, and the idiotic. We don't celebrate what we used to celebrate. I mean, let's be honest, if you're watching this back on YouTube later on, do you know any of your neighbours? Because we live in a world where we don't even know who lives next door to us anymore because we don't want to talk to them. When I grew up, we knew everybody. Everybody knew each other. Everybody knew neighbours. Everybody helped each other. Everybody looked out for each other. Yeah, there were falling outs and disagreements because that's what humans do. But we all used to have a sense of community, a sense of right and wrong, a sense of moral obligation to stand up for ourselves and stand up for our friends. And a perfect example of that is Calvin Robinson when he stood up for his friends and he was punished and sacked for doing so. What it shows is the moral character of that particular man, and we can't just we can't allow all this to go on because it's it's frustrating. It really is because if you could just stop and think, why are you doing this? Why are we allowing society to collapse around our ears? Why are we being allowed, or why we are being told this, that, and the other? I mean, today, you look at the news reports on Israel and the BBC and Sly News, and all the main media outlets. Uh, you know, Hamas, freedom fighters, and all this sort of stuff. And they're terrorists. People are dying. But what's more important to some? Well, the passing of Top Gear, because a show, it's heartbreaking that Top Gear's finished. People are dying, but Top Gear's more important. Yeah. Th- It's a show that deserved to go. It died the day Hammond, May, and Clarkson left. There you go. But it's like that's heartbreaking, and we'll concentrate on the silly little things that mean nothing to no one. You know, 24 hours after that young girl got stabbed to death, a boy got stabbed to death, and you hear nothing. Where I live in Birmingham, knife crime is epidemic, but it's just ignored. It's the norm. It's oh well, and that's not right. We need to stop these things. But we won't stop these things because we won't have the conversations, because conversations are no longer allowed to be had at all. As I've said before, you have to have dissenting voices. You have to have the other side of the coin. But the problem is we either want to silence that side of the coin or we want to argue away with that side of the coin, and then that nothing gets done. Now, you know me, I'll listen to. I mean, there was a little thing going on today on Twitter where people who are friends with have been, disagreeing over stuff, and that, you know what, that's fine because that's how conversations occur. The good news is, of course, is the fact that we're all adults and it all sorted itself out. But the simple truth of the matter is, you have to have that, and we don't have that anymore. We don't seem to have the ability to have difficult conversations without being branded far right, which is basically anyone who doesn't agree with the left. We're far right. We're Nazis. You don't even know the meaning of the word is gone. Racist. The meaning of that word is gone. It's just a throwaway, casual thing to shout at somebody who you don't disagree with. It's instead of throwing that, perhaps stopping and listening, perhaps trying to take on board what somebody's saying, whether you agree with it or not, because you might learn something. But when you stop having those conversations and those conversations unallowed, when you appease one side and ignore the other side, what's happening now is what we're getting. It's it's dangerous times, people. It's dark times. I mean, I've got 2 young children, and I'm sure you've all got children as well, and, I worry for their future. I really do genuinely worry for their future. That's why I don't worry about the TV show anymore. That's why, although, it'll be everything else. Hello, crawl. Yep, that's right. You're not far left and you're far right. You're even if you're saying there is left and everybody else who's immediately right. Hello, Eastling. Welcome. you know, this it's difficult. No worries, don't worry. Yeah, I'm just talking about how the world's burning itself alive at the moment. It appears to be. Um, that's why the direction of what I'm saying and doing on my channel has changed because although I will cover, TV and stuff like that, there are far more important things than TV. We are living in very dangerous and dark times, and we'd just be so easily distracted. And that's why the vast majority of people don't even notice or care or are even interested in what's going on around them because TV. I mean, Big Brother's coming back on here on the UK, a social experiment which is going to be even more diverse. It's stupid TV designed for stupid people to keep you in the Colosseum and entertained so you don't pay attention to what's going on in the world. So much has happened. The online safety bill, bill which will soon be the act when it once gets its rule, means that things like this would be shut down. Conversations with like that. Cat and dog and I went for an exercise walk just to arrive back happy. Excellent. I'm glad you're having the walk. I will get back on my walks. As I said, I haven't been able to recently. I've had a terrible cold, which has made breathing difficult, and exercising while being unable to breathe is a bit difficult. But there you go. Still losing weight though. And this Wednesday coming, I'm going to have my blood test for my second count. People going about fixing internet, none of that matters. The world is going to hell. Exactly, mate. Exactly. The world is going to hell. If not going, is there now. We're right on the cusp, ladies and gentlemen. I feel like I'm sitting back in Rome on the days just before the Roman Empire fell. You know, it's just unbelievable that people are more concerned about TV and, you know, who's doing this in what in some stupid soap when we're in, can't you see? I mean, perhaps it's just me and perhaps, perhaps I'm getting old and I don't know. But the thing is, we have what's going on in Israel right now. We have the Ukraine situation, which the West seems to be absolutely 100% determined to keep pushing until it turns into a war. We're not watching the Chinese anymore, and they're always rubbing their hands gleefully because they will go for Taiwan. That'll happen next. As far as I can see, we are literally heading towards another war. This is true. We are missing discipline, respect, integrity, honesty, and just the simple fact that we don't know who lives next to us. It doesn't seem to matter anymore. I mean, as I said, I was on Noel's stream last night. I did get a little bit soapboxy, but if we don't come together and we don't wake up and we don't decide to start helping each other instead of spending as much time as we can being divided, because everything's done to divide us because they don't want to know us to realize that we outnumber them. Your race, your religion, everything. It's just a distraction. It's just designed to keep us separated. I think we need to all take a real long, hard look at ourselves and the people around us because I don't know about you, but this world is not heading in a very, very good direction. And from bitter experience, I know where this ends. And when it ends the way I know it's going to end, it is not going to be pretty. And we'll be lucky if half of us get out of it. I really do. A pal said years gone by, "We used to tip the hats to each other on the street out of respect. Those days are gone." I mean, yeah, I mean, I will still smile and say hello to anyone I meet in the street, anyone, because it's just a mark of respect. I like to show people that I've acknowledged that they exist because we don't do that. We don't acknowledge each other. We pass each other in the street. We look at the floor. We look away. We don't say anything. I mean, I say good morning, good afternoon, or how are you, or wonderful day. Sometimes people just ignore me, but other times, in fact, more often than not, people will just go, "Oh, morning," because it's just nice. When did this stop? Why did this stop? Why do we have to live in such an insular world now where we only give a shit about ourselves? I don't. I've never given just I've never been selfish in any way. I always do worry about other people. I really do. You know, when why? Why can't we all the thing is, it's like the old race thing. There is no race. There's one race. It's the human race. I don't care. Firstly, I don't care about the colour of your skin. I don't care. I don't care about that. I don't care about your sexuality. I don't give a shit about any of that. I'm not interested. All I'm interested in is, are you okay? Perhaps it's just me. Perhaps I'm just too old school. Perhaps I've been brought up in a different world and a different time. But we used to care for each other. We really genuinely, we used to give a shit. I love it when people look back at me. I'm nothing when I do. Exactly. Hello, Jack. Part of my autism is not being able to look at people in the eye. I'm afraid what others. I love it when people smile at me. It makes me feel better. I like it when I can smile back. Yes, Jack. Yeah. Just in case anyone didn't know, in fact, in about an hour's time, he's coming round. One of my grandsons, my eldest grandson, he's non-verbal autistic. Yeah. And he doesn't respond to anything except a smile. He likes smiles. If that doesn't say anything, yeah. A lot of people, I don't like it when I smile at them. They either look away, but why? Why do people do that? Why do people think that people are being horrible to them by just going, "Morning"? I don't get it. You see, the thing is, the world would be a better place if we all just got along. I know we don't because we're a tribal organisation. We get into groups and we do silly things together, but we're also humans. There's a race of bears. People are looking for, but why are they looking for a reason to be offended? I think it's self-validation. I think they are that insecure and sad and have something missing in their life that the only way that they can feel that they get some sort of recognition is to get offended at silly things, knowing full well that if they go on the internet and say they're offended, they get recognition. Somebody might go, "I agree with you, it's disgusting," and then they feel validated. Because this is the world we live in now, ladies and gentlemen. We live in an organisation where everything is insular. Everybody's frightened. Everybody's scared. Why? Why have we been made to fear each other? Why have we been made to be scared of each other? Why? Genuinely, it's a question that can never be answer. I mean, if we go down the trans road, I know trans people, and they're lovely people. They are. And as with everything else, what people have to also remember is, remember with all these things, it's not everyone who's that. It's a tiny, weeny, vocal, extremist, organised section of it that ruining it for everybody else. I know trans people who are wonderful human beings, but they just want to get on with their lives. They want to be left alone. They don't need this. And then they go, trans rights are human rights. And I've asked time and time and time and time again, what rights have been removed? I don't get an answer because there isn't, because nothing has. It's just another load of rubbish. Yeah, it's true. We're all, thing is, we're all wonderful in our own unique way. My philosophy is I never misjudge anyone. I never judge anyone because everyone is better at something than I am. There is all somebody is always better at something than I am. And we seem to think, well, certain sections of society seem to think that they're the best and no one's better than them. Somebody will go, "You're perfect just the way you are." Well, no, because we're humans. We're imperfect. We aren't perfect machines. We make mistakes. We say silly things. We do silly things. Yeah, we make errors. None of us are perfect. If you sit there and say, "I'm perfect," then you're lying to yourself. I make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. In the end, people are people. Some are okay, some are decent, but they're a scum of the earth. Some always like ruin everything for everyone, and always have done, and always will do. Mates of each other only for one reason: promote that someone wants to control and manipulate or grab power. Absolutely right. They don't want us together. They don't want us to realise. Because let's be honest, ladies and gentlemen, if you go for the elite ruling class, there's what probably about 5,000-6,000 of them. There's 8 billion of us. That's what they're frightened of. That's why they keep us divided. That's why they keep us arguing, because if we all got together, they'd be doomed. And they know this. It's just probably people are just going to think I'm just this sad, stupid old man of an ancient time who doesn't deserve to do this, that, and the other. And I've been told to extinguish my lights on multiple occasions, and I've been called every silly name under the sun. It doesn't bother me because I'm an adult, I'm grown up. Yeah, and you can I used to believe in the old sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Apparently that doesn't work anymore. Somewhere along the line that disappeared. I swear to God, one day I fell asleep and we all woke up in an alternate reality. We really did. We really did. Our imperfections might makes us perfect. We aren't all meant to be the same, but we need to understand that no one can say they're better than others. Absolutely right. No one is better than anyone else. If somebody's standing there saying I'm better than you, tell them to go take a short walk off a long pier or a long walk off a short pier. That was the wrong idea. But you know what I mean. Many are scummy people. My motto: do right, do good. Remember, it's a mostly crooked world. Indeed, absolutely. I'm not perfect and I'm not good or nice. Nobody really is. We love to think that the sun shines out our backsides. It doesn't. Absolutely right. It was sneaked on us in this reality. Yep, that's the problem. As I said, these dark forces that now are clearly on show and clearly doing what they need to do to take over. They've been doing this for years and years in this being, in the background, snoping at this, taking this, changing that, doing that. But they've got to a stage now where they can't hide. They just can't hide. So they're now out in the open and they now know they've got to move very, very quick to control us before we realise and get together. Go be better than me. Not here would be my reply. Absolutely. As far as I'm concerned, no one on this planet is better than me. They may, I mean, I brought up in a thing where I respect a rank. Yeah, I respect the rank, not the man, not the person. I respect the rank. Yeah, we have to have a rank of order. We have to have that. That's just the way it is. They're not better than you. I mean, I say I love everyone. I love every single one of you mother truckers out there. Whether you love me or hate me, that's not my problem. It really isn't. If you don't like what I say and I offend you, that's your bother. It's not mine. It really isn't. When Jesus said, "Let those who cast the first stone," he didn't mean people who think they're perfect to throw stones. He meant that no one has the right to judge. Amen. And we've seen it multiple times, haven't we? We've seen it multiple times recently in media where we're told to judge somebody based on what somebody else thinks of them. None of us, none of us have the right to judge. We have people called judges. It's their job. I know it's a unique and ancient idea, but that's the way it's done. The internet is a double-edged sword for the powers to be. Not only can they push certain things, but they have to expose themselves, which is exactly what they're doing right now. Excuse me, isn't it? That's exactly what they're doing right now. And that's why they're trying to control the internet with the online safety bill. That's what they're trying to do. because they want to control it now because it's too late. The genie's out of the bottle. They cannot gather up the reins of power, eat the wounded. It's a crab bucket world, and no one is loyal. Um, I'll take exception to the last one. There are a few of us who are loyal. Yeah, I'm very loyal to my friends. If my friends need my assistance, my help, they have my shield and they have my sword because I'm loyal. I'm loyal to my country, believe it or not, even though I really don't like the way it's going at the moment. I am very loyal to this piece of dirt that I sit on, this piece of dirt that I'm prepared to lay down my life to protect. It's as simple as that. There is loyalty. It's just that now loyalty is frowned upon. Loyalty is punished. Loyalty is seen as a weakness. So is honor, discipline, integrity. All these things are not valued anymore. They really aren't valued anymore. Sadly, I am too loyal. I stay loyal to friends who bullied me and my family who made me feel I wasn't good enough. Sometimes, Jack, being loyal does do that to you. I'm sorry that that's happened to you, mate. I really am. But you know that. You know, I class you as a friend, and you know, but I don't think it's a weakness. No, it's not a weakness. It's seen. It's portrayed now in this modern sickness of a world that we live in. That if you're loyal to somebody, you're weak. They are to Amsterdam, and yes, a few loyal, very capable of loyalty. Some will fake it. Yeah, well, they'll do because people now, because we live in such a selfish world, people will take advantage of people. I had it happen to me back in lockdown, where people who I thought were my friends were actually using me, um, and but I woke up to that, and then they didn't particularly like it when I told them to go take a very long walk off an exceedingly short pier. You see, because my loyalty, if you earn my loyalty will be to the end. It really will. Absolutely to the end. You know, it's for me, it's family, country in that order, friends in that order. Yep. Those are the people I'm loyal to. I have some amazing friends, friends I would never imagine in my whole world that I would get. I'm talking to people I would never imagine that somebody like me could talk to. And I'm fiercely loyal to those people because they deserve my loyalty. They've earned my respect and they've earned my loyalty. I hate the word ally, it's so fake. Ally is a bullshit word. Yeah. Because if you actually look at the definition of ally, the Russians were our allies in World War II. Didn't quite fucking work out right then, did it? See, ally means I'm your friend while it suits me. That's what an ally is. An ally is somebody who's working with you because they have to at this present moment in time, but as soon as they get the opportunity, they'll dump you and stab you in the back. Yeah, ally is fake. It means I'm not with you. I'm just sort of with you at the moment while it suits my needs. I love the UK and America, as in our people, us regular folk. Our government's not so much. Well, it's the governments that cause the problems, is it not? Is it not? That's they're the ones who cause all the problems that we're sitting in right now. No, no general man or woman in the street has ever caused a war, has it? No, no. Wars are caused by governments and elitists who are taking over the world, and they know we can see this now. That's the problem. That's what's worrying them the most. They know we can see what they're doing now because they can't hide it anymore, and they don't like the fact that people are speaking out against it. That's the biggest problem. Alliance, we claim to have goals in common. Allies, yeah. But the problem is that's true, but alliances are broken when it suits. That's the problem with an alliance. Yeah. As I said, we were allies with the Americans and the Russians in World War II. But as soon as the Russians got to a stage where they wanted what they wanted, that alliance didn't last very long at all. Can picture RTD leading a rainbow mob into World War Three. Yeah, the problem is if World War Three ever did fall out, that's the kind of people we'd have to rely on, which is even more scarier. And sorry, guys, I'm getting too old for this shit. You know what I mean? It's our governments that tell us who the bad guys are. So yeah, yeah, yep. And then they don't like it when people go. I mean, I know it's an unpopular statement, but the reason there is a war in the Ukraine is because we caused it. NATO, as I said on Noel's stream, NATO have actually admitted that they were told by Putin, don't add Ukraine into NATO because that's too close to my borders and it will have repercussions. And NATO went and did it anyway. And that's what's actually started the Ukraine war. We started it. NATO started it because there's a lot of money in war. But, you know, we need to keep saying it. It needs to make sense. Your math. Okay. Yep, exactly. 100%. So, I mean, I know that's an unpopular decision. That's an unpopular thing to say in this world that, but the simple truth of the matter is the war in Ukraine, as Donald Trump quite rightly said, could be stopped in 24 hours because it just needs two people to sit down and talk to each other. Whether you like it or not, whether you think, "Oh god, that's the truth." The simple truth is, we can solve our problems if we're prepared to sit down and listen to each other's differences and work to find a common ground. But if you silence one of those voices, there will never be common ground and nothing will ever get solved. And that's where we're sitting now, ladies and gentlemen. We have one group silencing any opposition and dissident voices to themselves because they're right and we're wrong. And they're not prepared to listen. And then they're shutting down these voices because they want to be right. You solve nothing if you don't listen to people who you don't agree with. It's as simple as that. Putin apparently had beef with Klaus Schwab recently. Don't know much about it. Yeah, he's actually told him his time's up. He's actually told him that he's coming for him. He's had enough of him running the world, basically. Again, that should be worrying because although, Klaus Schwab is an evil, sycophantic, narcissistic arsehole who runs the world with zero anyone of us ever voted him in. He's just there, a bit like the World Health Organization as well, who, by the way, just said that we should telling all our governments we should all ban meat because that'll stop the next pandemic. What a load of fucking bollocks that is. But that's the way it goes. The 12th Doctor, people are always going to do sit down and talk. Yes. Although that speech in the actual show is a bit ambiguous, the sentiment fits the situation right now. All we need to do is what always we have to do after that first bullet has been shot is eventually we have to sit down and talk. But to sit down and talk, you have to allow two sides of the argument. There has to be a two-way conversation. And we're living in a world where one group is trying to shut down the talk of the other group. And that is why we are where we are now. Right then. With that, I'm going to bring this one to a close. I just felt that I needed to sort of get that off my chest. I hope Rabbi from another planet, I hope he's okay. For those who don't know, he does live in Israel, and obviously, with what's going on in Israel at the moment, we haven't heard from him. I've got a few other friends who live in Israel, and I can't get hold of them either, and it's worrying times. It's a terrible situation, but that's all Biden's fault for giving 6 billion to Iran 19 days ago. So Iran have used that to spend some money and arm them up and embolden them to do what they want them to do. So glad you popped up. Keep doing this. As I've said before, I will keep saying things and I'll keep saying it until eventually, because it will happen. Someone shuts me down because it will happen because that's what's happening to anyone who gives the op. Yeah, I know he's prepared, but I'm just the way it's going. I genuinely worried for him. I know he'll be fine, but it's terrible. But there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, my thoughts are with everybody in Israel. As you can see on all my social media, I've quite blatantly put up that I stand with Israel in this current moment of darkness and madness because they have their rights, inalienable right, to defend themselves, and everybody in the world should stand with them. It was a completely unprovoked attack. I don't give a shit whether you want to go on about this, that, and the other. Great to see you live. Hope you have a great day. Well, yeah, as I said, I've got my my 2 grandkids and my daughter coming. So, that's gonna be fun afternoon. I'm looking forward to it, really am. Um, because that's the most important thing in the world, is it not? Family. Family is more the most important thing. It really is. Yeah, everyone has to be safety conscious. Indeed we do. Indeed we do. So thoughts and prayers to those in Israel. I hope everything they're all okay. I know I've seen the images that are coming out. My Twitter feed's lighting up as we speak. It's sad times, and I hope everything gets sorted out. And I hope people who watch this learn from one thing, which is start talking to each other. Stop ignoring people who say horrible, who you don't agree with. And I'm not talking about those people who are clearly insane and wishing other people who don't have the same opinion to extinguish their lights because they're lunatics. Madness, absolute madness. But every one of you, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, and I hope you do realise that I mean this from the bottom of my heart. I love you all. Whether you hate me or whether you love me, I don't, I love you all because we're all humans. We've all we got. We got to look out for each other. And that with dog and cat, my plan. Great plan. Absolutely great plan. Right then. Thanks to those of you in the chat. Thanks to Crawl, Jack, Eastlin. Thank you very much for popping into the chat and making this a lot more enjoyable. To everybody who's watching this back on YouTube, I hope the message gets out. And I'll keep on doing these things until I'm shut down. There will be other stuff, my usual stuff on the channel. Don't forget, I haven't forgot all about those things. I am going to do those. But the world that we live in, we need people to speak up. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. And with that, thank you so much for watching. And I will catch you in the next one. Please look after each other. Stay safe. I've been Gobster. See you later.
If I feel low and I don't wanna know, I got a heavy bill. The west guys are crazy, won't go away, I've got a heavy bill. I'm taking it in, I'm coming out into the sunset. I'm taking it in, I'm coming out into the sunset. I feel it so. SOS, my life's a mess, I got a heavy bill. Ain't got no friends, this shit never ends, I got a heavy bill. I'm taking